Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm the opinions editor for the Fulcrum.
And I'm Musa, assistant online editor.
Yeah, and we're going to talk to you today about the Zombie Run for Humanity, which we both attended, and which we both woke up at around 6 a.m. for.
6 a.m.
6, yeah.
We were up before the sun.
Yes,
up before the sun.
way before. And the day was terribly rainy and cold.
Yeah, but
And I know you were not a happy camper.
I'm not a morning person.
No,
I'll tell
I
you
know.
that.
But anyway, we're going to show you some pictures which Musa took and which I was the subject of many of them. And I guess we'll start with the makeup, which was interesting for me because I've never had makeup on my face ever. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you have at all. But
no,
no,
I don't
okay.
think so.
But the process for me anyway was really interesting because I wasn't able to see it. Did I hold up pretty good under pressure?
Yeah,
okay.
and you were also the guy who did your makeup was the head makeup artist.
Right.
So compared to other people, your makeup was more detailed and. I guess I would say straight up better than some of the people.
Yeah, you look pretty gnarly. It was just weird because I felt like shaking my head most of the time, especially when he did the under the eyes. That made me want to
Did the makeup smell?
Not really. It just felt weird. It felt like he was putting I don't know, like he was spraying me with rubbing alcohol all the time. So that was a little difficult to do. But and then the one thing I noticed too is you'll see he put a bunch of blood on my hair when I'm not wearing my cap. Once I put on my running cap after that, it kind of stuck to my head. So the reason why I didn't take off my hat for the rest of these pictures is because it was stuck to my head.
Yeah,
And so eventually we did.
Yes.
That
And
was fun.
we just got to tell the people, it was in the middle of nowhere. We took a bus
To Nepean.
to Nepean, and we got off, and we were by an overpass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was a big field. We were like in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, it was I think it was Nepean Equestrian Park, I believe it was, which is I guess horses usually.
We saw a tent in the distance, and we assumed.
You saw a tent. Yeah, I didn't see the tent actually, but you did because you have a lot better eyes than I do, apparently.
Then we got there,
Yeah.
and we did the makeup. Mm-hmm. And when we did the makeup, they divided you guys into groups.
Yeah.
And you then went on to scare the runners. Can you talk a bit about the run itself and your role?
We got golf carted, actually. We had a pretty cool venue because we actually got sent over to this kind of makeshift town area. It was mostly just a bunch of, kind of like you see it like a play or an old Hollywood movie. You see it just like kind of the front of a bank or a jail or what have you, and there was just like the backs were just hollow and nothing was in them. But it was actually pretty cool because we gotta hide behind them and jump out and scare people when the opportunity presented itself. And there was a car there with a smoke machine in it and stuff. And it was pretty cool. And the group I was with was interesting too because the two women in the middle were actually the most enthusiastic out of our whole group, and they were obviously the older ones, which was interesting to me. And they wouldn't let up the whole time, and I was tired after the first half hour probably, mostly because I was cold and tired. But and then you left shortly after that to cover the rest of the thing. But
it was the people came in waves,
they
they kind of gave you guys a rest, and I walking back to the start, I guess. Yeah. I walked through the circus, and there were a lot of potholes and surprises for the runners.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a pretty... I thought it was an impressive obstacle course, actually. Unfortunately, I didn't get to run it. Maybe next year. But,
and at the end, if you still had your two flags, you would either go through infected or safe.
Yeah, and you get baking powder.
Survivor, actually.
Was that? Do you know what that substance was they sprayed with?
No.
I assume it was baking powder or sugar or something.
And
not actual disinfectant.
Yeah. I don't think there's a picture of it, but at the end I saw a guy do a 360 to try to dodge a zombie. It didn't work for him, but...
No.
At the end, people got desperate. I'll tell you that.
The zombies kind of clustered together at the end, too, so...
Walking back, too, was an adventure.
You mean back home?
Back home, back home.
You want to tell your side of that first, right?
Yeah, I walked in an overpass.
Right.
No sidewalks. And then I went to the bus stop and I waited for about 40 minutes and I kept seeing buses pass on the highway. Yeah. And then I called the OC Transpo number on the bus on the bus sign, and the answer. And then I said, I see buses passing, they're not stopping on my stop. What's going on here? And he said, did you press the button? And I said, what button? And there's a button on the other side of the pole, and if you press it, it lets the drivers know to get off the highway and come to the stop.
I've never been told about this before.
Yeah.
When you told me on the phone to look out for the button, I didn't know what button you were talking about, but apparently this is a thing for OC Transpo.
And the button is so close, we're so close to the sidewalk that the button looks like one of those pedestrian buttons you would press if you wanted to cross. Mm-hmm. But your walk back was more eventful.
Yeah, no, well, I was actually still covered in my makeup, so that kind of took hitchhiking out of the question, unfortunately, because nobody wants to pick up a guy with large scars and contusions on his face. But there were actually, no, that's not true, because there was actually one guy who did pull over, and he actually walked towards me, and I was like, oh shit, is this guy gonna hustle me or something like that, or what? But he's like, no, he's like, dude, you okay? Like, you get in a car accident or something? I was like, it took me a second, but I'm like, oh, no, it's the makeup. No, it's fine. And then he's like, oh, you look relieved, actually, because he legitimately thought I got into a car or got into a fight or something. Yeah. Then his mom comes out of the car. She's on the phone. And I think she had dialed 911 already, because she was, like, talking to somebody on the phone, like, yeah, oh, it's makeup. Okay. And she looked kind of mad at me for making her worry. And, yeah, and then I just kind of continued on my way. Afterwards.
Would you do it again?
The zombie run? Yeah, I would actually do it as a runner next year, not as a zombie. Yeah. Because they look like they were having fun, like, dodging through, because we had to stay in kind of one particular place. But, yeah, I didn't get the full obstacle course experience, but, yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and hopefully, I talked to the owners, and they talked about making it more centralized next year, so hopefully it won't be that long a trek out there, so.
All right.
Yeah.